Nottingham has previously been a city of hidden talents and unrecognised creativity. In December 2015, Nottingham won the bid to become the third city of literature in the UK. It's
very much a rebellious, very anti-authoritarian streak we have here. If you think, the most famous Nottingham person is Robin Hood. I mean, he is a legendary character who was an outlaw. When you have that as your starting route, it informs a lot of what's happened in this city. We're very grassroots. We're a working class city that's really pulls itself up. We do things our own way here.
Nottingham does have an absolutely unique and vast literary scene with stuff going on all over the place, seemingly every night.
Nottingham's had a fantastic literary scene for many years, and we've had many well-known writers that have come out of the city. Alan Silito for one. Many writers. At the moment, if you look at the city, it's thriving in terms of open mics and poetry events and that kind of thing. So, everywhere you go, practically every bar, every place you can think of has some kind of open night mic or something like that where people can go along. There were lots of poetry groups, lots of reading groups, writing groups that have sprung up around the city, and it's just very vibrant when it comes to literature.
Well, actually, there's a lot of stuff going up here that deserves recognition. Like poetry, they're good. Like we're going to have tonight, that's going to be awesome. And with Mouthy Poets and DIY Poets and Nottingham Writers Studio, it means a lot, and hopefully, it will open up a lot more opportunities.
Just see the city going from strength to strength on so many different levels at the moment, including the literary scene and the design scene, and just want to make a contribution to that. Really, I think lots of exciting projects have started in the last year or two, and so it's impossible to predict really where it's all going to go, but I think great things are happening, and it's exciting to see that happening outside of London.
I was one of the patrons of the bid and helped out in any way that I could, but I think it was the number of us and the amount of work that's going on in the city that really led to the bid being successful.
I was one of the patrons for the UNESCO City of Literature bid, and I was one of the patrons. And basically what that meant was to go around and advocate on behalf of this city and the wonderful, rich literary heritage that we have. And that kind of was fun to do.
I was one of the founder members of the Nottingham Writers Studio a few years ago now, and there weren't very many of us at that point, but it's grown and grown exponentially, and I think that the Writers Studios, I think that the presence of the Writers Studio and the success of the Writers Studio in the city has had an enormous lot to do with the fact that the UNESCO bid was successful.
There are a lot of incredibly creative writers in Nottingham. I could give you a huge handful right now. So here with that, it'll be beneficial not just for me and not just for other writers in Nottingham, but it will be beneficial for Nottingham itself, because for the past few years, then the last 4 or 5 years, things have really picked up for Nottingham. A lot of people got their eyes on it.
I think the UNESCO bid will be beneficial for Nottingham in a variety of ways. It will bring attention to Nottingham. It will highlight all the fantastic work that goes on in the city regarding literature, in terms of the poetry scene, the work in schools where artists work in schools. And I think it will also, I hope, inspire people to pick up the pen and write.
I think it would bring an awful lot more people into the city. It would give us more opportunities to celebrate the city's literary heritage. And my particular thing is, I come from a background in education as well as being a novelist, and I would like to use the city's literary heritage and all the activity that's going on around now to help build literacy within the city, and it will just make it so much easier to get impact doing stuff like that.
James Walker has come up with a series of all the different literary figures in Nottingham and released one a month in Left Lion magazine about how great Nottingham is literarily.
It was created for 2 reasons. One, appalling literacy statistics in Britain at the moment. Nottingham in particular is below the national average. And secondly, as a way of supporting libraries and trying to get more people to read about local history. Nottingham Red also created placements for 120 students and linked out and promoted lots of different organisations. Nottingham's never had much money, so what you find when you put together a project is lots of people collaborate and put together. You might do a little bit of writing for them, they might do a little bit of filming for you, but together you're able to produce really diverse, interesting projects.
Oh, well, we've got lots and lots of great shops. We've got Five Leaves, which is, I think, one of the only independent city centre bookshops to have opened in recent years. We've got Ideas on Paper, which is a unique shop just devoted to journals over on Cobden Chambers. We've got great comic shops like Mondo Comico and Page 45, which is one of the city's best independent shops for comics and graphic novels. We've got the new Rough Trade, where they have lots of literary events and sell lots of books, and also, vinyl records, which I'm a bit keen on too.
I mean, just recently there was the Nottingham Poetry Festival that was curated by Henry Normal, where Lem Sisse headlined it. And I think that was a really big step towards seeing exactly what's going to happen for the future when it comes to Nottingham being a UNESCO City of Literature.
I think we're all of us very interested to see what happens now. We won the bid, but how will that bring greater benefit to both the City of Nottingham generally and more specifically writers within it? Well, I hope there'll be money for more events.
If you would like to know more information, then please head to the website nottinghamcityofliterature.com, where you can find the latest events taking place, news updates and where to get in touch.